All right, welcome to Restore Workout 4. We're gonna go down on our hands and knees for our elbow to sky. So remember this mobility, we're warming up our upper back, hand behind our head. I want you to find your breath and move with your breath, inhaling and exhaling, avoiding any movement through your hips. Really focus on just moving through that upper back, okay? Once you've completed that, we're going to move into our core connection, but in a bent over position. So we're gonna practice our hip hinge, keeping our back nice and neutral. Rest your hands on your thighs. Inhale into your rib cage. Exhale, draw that belly in and up, practicing that core connection. Inhale, relax the belly. Exhale, zip, draw belly in and up towards your heart. Once you've completed those, we're going to move into a new mobility exercise we like to call bootstrappers. So this one, you're going to bend forward, touch your toes, or however far you feel like you can go. You're going to drop into a squat as low as you feel comfortable, and then straighten your knees. I want you to do 5 of each of these. Then you will pause the workout video and come back, and we'll get started on the next section. All right. For our next section, we're going to go onto our hands and knees, and we're going to work on our bear planks. So we're going to do 10 of these where you inhale into your ribs, let your belly relax. Then I want you to exhale, draw that belly in and up, lifting the knees an inch or two off the floor, inhaling and relaxing. With this, I want to make sure that you're practicing that core relaxing and engagement between each and every rep. Once you're done those, flip over onto your back for 10 glute bridges. Practicing our hip hinge, we inhale into our ribs, we exhale, drive up through the hips, squeezing the glutes, inhale, lower. So we're not scooping, okay, we're not arching, we're just driving up on your exhale and down on your inhale. Want you to complete 10 of those, then come back and pause. We'll come back and we'll get started on the next section. All right, for today's strength component, we're going to work on our deadlift. This is a really important functional movement for moms because you're lifting babies and car seats off the floor. So it's really important that we practice our form. Now you can do this with a barbell if you have it. I'm going to demonstrate with dumbbells. The key is that we're working on that hip hinge with a neutral back and a neutral spine, so we're not putting a lot of stress on our lower back. Okay. You're going to practice picking up weight from the floor. Now, if you're using dumbbells, I find that I won't actually go back to the floor every time. But if you have a barbell and you're lifting, you might actually touch your weights to the floor. So a couple options there. Our breath is really important to manage pressure while we're lifting so we don't have any pain, pressure, heaviness, or peeing sensations. What I want you to do is I want you to reach down to grab your weights. I want you to think about your hips being slightly higher than your knees and your back nice and straight. I want you to inhale into your ribs and you're going to exhale, stand up using your hips and your knees at the same time. Then you can either do one of two things. You can either take a breath here, inhale, exhale, lower the weights back down by sending your bum back. Okay, then we can inhale, exhale, pull up. So this is moving. Every time you move, you're going to move on your exhale. Sometimes it might feel better to move a little bit differently with our breath. So in that case, you're going to inhale, exhale, stand up, and then inhale, lower back down. So this is a little bit more of a dynamic breath. You're going to see which one feels best for you. And I want you to start with 10 of these. Really important, ladies, I don't want you to over squeeze your bum at the top. That puts too much pressure on our pelvic floor. So just stand up nice and tall. If you feel like playing with your weights, then I want you to get heavier as long as you have no pain, pressure, or peeing symptoms, and you can decrease your reps. If you don't feel comfortable increasing your weights right now, that's totally fine. Let's stay between 8 to 10 reps of this exercise. And you're going to alternate this deadlift with an elevated plank. So using a bench, chair, couch, whatever you have at home, I like to start on my elbows. And I'm going to find a nice straight position, and I'm going to work on breathing into my rib cage. Then I want exhale, zip up, pull that belly button up to your heart. So we're managing pressure, okay, by breathing into the ribs, exhale, drawing up, and I want you to try to hold that for 5 breaths. Then pause the video, come back for our next set. Okay, for our next superset, we're going to do our bent over row, working on that upper back strength. Okay, resting hand and knee on a bench or a chair. You're going to squeeze that shoulder blade, and we're going to do 12 reps. So we're increasing a little bit here, working on a little bit more of that muscular strength and endurance. When you're done your bent over row, I want you to go down to the floor and we're going to progress our glute bridges. So we are going to lay down. We're going to add a march or a bridge. So you're going to do 6 marches per side. Start with your exhale, come up into bridge. Okay, then I like to take an inhale and exhale, squeeze your left glute as you lift your right leg up off the floor. And then you're going to squeeze your right glute when you lift your left leg. Now, if you have any pain or pelvic pressure, come down and stick with just the glute bridges. But if you feel okay, then you can decide if you have the strength and it feels okay to stay up for 6 on each side, or if you need to come down, reset, and go back up. Once you're done that, pause the video and then come back. All right, for our cool down today, especially after lifting, we're going to work on our hypopressive. So I want you to pick 3 poses. I'm going to show you kneeling in a couple poses. So starting with our hands out in front, toes are tucked. We're going to take 3 breaths here, inhaling into the ribs, softening the belly, then exhale, lengthen and grow. Once you've done 3 breaths and 1 apnea in this pose, try going down onto your hands and knees here, where we inhale into the rib cage, go down onto your hands and knees, inhale into the ribs, let your bellies relax, then slowly, softly exhale, exhale, exhale. Once you've done 3 breaths here, you do your false inhale or your apnea, holding your breath and drawing the rib cage open. Once you're done hands and knees pose, I want you to go down on your forearms. Okay, remember there's 2 options, either head off the ground or on the ground, whichever one feels best for you. Looking towards your knees, you're going to inhale, relax your bellies. Slowly, softly exhale. Think about growing from the top of your head. Then inhale and then exhale. And once you've done your 3 breaths, you hold your breath for your final apnea today. Then you can inhale and exhale. And if you feel like you need to do more, go ahead. Otherwise, we'll see you for the next workout.